Hey, Tony here, Random Adventures 2.0. Where are we at and what are we doing? Well, where we're at, we're in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. So I found this mountain road off the beaten path. It's kind of random. And I drove up it and, well, it was pretty sketchy, as you can see from the intro. But I found this location, thought it would be the perfect spot. I backed in here. So if you're ready, I'm going to show you around. And what are we doing? We're doing an overnight camp, kind of winding out the Florida trip here in Georgia. All right, if you're ready, here we go. Let me show you around. I almost gave up while I was driving down the road because I just wasn't seeing anything. This is the road that I drove up right here. So you can see it's a dirt mountain road. And I went out that way quite a while, and then I spun around because there was nothing out there. And as I was coming back, I found this spot, and you can see the car backed right in there. And it has evidence that it was used in the past, and I'll show you why. So I got out and I walked around here, and I was like, oh, this is it. So this is going to be our spot. But let me show you why I think it's been used in the past. You'll think so too. Because the first thing that I saw was this. So a makeshift fire pit. And then I saw this. Look at that view. And then I looked over here and I saw a rope hanging from a tree. So that was the second thing I saw. I'm probably going to get that cut off and get a garbage bag started. Because want to leave no trace, so I'm just going to toss that over by the car. And then the other thing that I saw, I walked up a little bit further here, there's another fire ring right up here. So the camp isn't completely wild camp. It's obviously someone else has been here maybe a couple times, maybe a couple different people or a whole bunch of people. But so far since I've been up here, I haven't seen anybody going up or down the road. And we've got a really big drop off right there. And if you can see, we're positioned running the ridge, and there's a drop off over on that side. But the first thing I've got to do is pick out a couple of trees and get camp set up right behind me. Two, I think, will work perfect. And that'll give me a straight shot at that right there. So we got the sun pretty high on an angle over there, but we got a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, let's go back to the car. Oh, look at that. Looks like an old mushroom. Yeah, it is. That thing is dry as can be. It must have got knocked over, flipped upside down, and dried out just like that. Very cool. Let's put that back. I don't think anything's going to eat it, because I think it would have been eaten by now, definitely. So I'm seeing a lot of acorns. So if there were squirrels around, squirrel, they probably wouldn't be here. Man, there's a lot of acorns on the ground. Obviously, this is not going to be a stealth camp. However, even just being back off the road like this, you kind of want to be a little camoed. So you want to use like natural material like acorns and pine needles and leaves. Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. Because we're so close to the road, so you just want to take some pine needles and just strategically place them on the car. Maybe a couple leaves, some sticks, and pine needles. All right. I think that's pretty hidden. All right, let's grab the hammock. Whew, glad I got that taken care of. So I am going to be using the One Wind Area 11 double hammock with the HG hammock gear underquilt. Yeah, I think these two trees will work perfect. It is a little breezy right now, but it's supposed to die down later on this evening, and I hope it does, because we've got a bundle of logs with us, so hopefully we can get those going. But before we can do any of that, I got to get this hammock set up around these trees. All right, I think we got it all set up. Moment of truth, we're going to give this a quick sit, see how she feels. You know what? I got that set perfectly. Boy, I'm getting good at this. Oh, that is comfortable. All right, so I've got this side here a little lower because you want your feet higher so you don't slide into the middle. So let me give this thing a lay so we can see just how comfortable it is. Oh my goodness. That is very comfortable. I could lay here all day. Oh, but I got a video to make. Oh, what a beautiful sky out there. So this is going to be a really great spot. Yeah, we got the sun going down right there. And probably sun's going to come up in that direction. So maybe I should have switched my head to that side. It's just good being out here. But we can't lay here all day. All right, I got stuff to do. Like get the rest of our camp set up. What do I got to do yet? I've got to get our fire pit out because we're not using any of these two fire pits. I have a portable thing that I bring along, and we'll get that set up. Probably what I'll do, because I'm going to be cooking something for dinner that I picked up in Florida. I'll show you that a little bit later. Let me get that all set up. Oh, look at that view. Okay, I got everything set up. Let me show you what I am gonna do. After getting the Trailblazer set up, and this is that little backpacking grill. So that's the fireside outdoor grill that we cooked ribeyes on down at HangCon. And I've got lump charcoal. So I knew I had that. I was planning on having a fire as well. So that's why I got this bundle of logs right there. But my wood's too big. It won't fit in that because I didn't bring the big one. So I did do some construction work on the fire pit. I usually don't use fire pits that are existing. I like to leave no trace, but I want to have a fire. And I don't want to take those logs, that bundle of logs, all the way back to Pennsylvania, because this is probably the only opportunity I'll have on my way back to do a fire, have a steak. Oh, did I give it away? We're gonna have a ribeye. So what I'm planning on doing is setting this right inside of the fire pit. We'll get our lump coal going. We'll cook our steak on here, and when we're all done, we'll take those hot coals, pour them right in that fire pit, and then we'll work on getting our fire started later on, right? But first, we got to do a little bit more stuff before we can get that steak cooking. Yum. Well, not yum yet. I got more to do. I was gathering twigs and sticks for when we have our regular fire, not the charcoal one. Just get them logs started. And I stepped out here to the road, and I was looking over here because I heard something. It sounded like a wild turkey. I'm gonna go look for some tracks in this mud, because in the mud is where you kind of find the footprints or animal prints, but I'm not seeing anything. Oh, wait a minute. What is that? Is that an old bottle? Yeah, it is. I don't know how old it is. Oh, I've been down here. Oh, that's what it was. Wild turkey. Let's put that with our rope. That didn't make a sound. Come on. because we want to leave no trace. Actually, leave the place better than you found it. We're just going to lay that over with our rope. Oh, most of our camo blew off. Good thing nobody drove by. I got to touch that up a little bit. All right, let's throw that over by our rope. That should be good. Still a little too early for our dinner, but I'm going to get the steak out, kind of put it out, just kind of lay it there because I don't want it ice cold because it was frozen when I picked it up, but it's thawed out now, so I want to get it to room temperature. What room? Our outdoor room. That's a good looking ribeye. I think I might go ahead and do the charcoal now. That should be good for one steak. So what I'm going to use is the Bigfoot Bushcraft fire plugs. So we use these down in Florida. I use these all the time. They're great. We used it to light this lump charcoal the other day, and it worked perfect. Well, not the other day. It's been for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks now. I'm not going to use my striker. I'm just going to use a lighter, and then now that'll burn for 5 minutes all by itself. So I'm just going to stack some of these around it so they can get started. And then once we get some lit and going, it'll take off in no time at all. Oh, let's move those coals around a little bit and then stick our grate on. Something about cooking on coal. It is hotter. Now this lump coal is really nice. That was pretty quick. So we'll let that heat up a little bit and then we will throw our steak on. Look at the marbling in that. That is looking good. That's a good looking piece of meat. So let's throw that on here. I'm going to put it right in the one side here. It's a little sizzle, not a lot. We're not going to go too long on the sides. Give that a quick flip over onto the hotter side. Let that drip. I didn't want them flames to kiss it too much. The sun's going down. We're going to keep an eye on this so we don't overcook it, and then I'll meet you over at the cutting board once it's done. Oh, it is done. Let's bring it over to the cutting board and see how we did. All right, looks nice and charred. Oh, that's looking good. Okay, let me get a cut in here and see what it looks like on the inside. I may have gone just a little bit more than I like, but it's still going to be good. I like it nice and crusty on the outside. And how do we do? Well, that's definitely medium. A little bit more than what I usually do, but hey, we're cooking on charcoal. And I was getting the camera set up, so it went a little too long. Let's grab a bite of this piece here right on the edge. Because this has the perfect amount of fat and beef together. Ooh, this is like my favorite spot on the steak. Just that little tail that sticks out. Well, not saying I don't like the rest of it. I love the rest of it. But there's a couple different steak cuts within that steak. If that makes sense. All right, first bite, look at that. Very tasty, I guess. I don't know yet. And I'm not going to use any salt yet. I'm going to taste it, and then I'm going to salt it up. Quincy, Don Quincy, you did an awesome job at raising them cows. Thank you so much. Ooh, that's tasty. Yum. All right, now for the salt, which is the Malden's sea salt. So sprinkle that on there. I gotta get in there with my finger. All right, now it's time to dig in. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna finish this steak or eat as much as I can. I'll let you know how much I eat when I'm done. Yum. Sun's going down. We gotta get our fire going. I did take the ashes or the coals, the leftover coals, and dump them into the fire ring there. So I've got some twigs and things that we can get our fire going real soon. Down in the hollow there, I heard something running. Yeah, it's moving. You can't hear it, it's too far away. So I grabbed another Bigfoot bushcraft. I'm just going to throw that right in these coals. Let that start another little flame. And we're just going to stack some twigs in there. That coal's going pretty good. I had a little bit of coal left, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to dump that in here. I'll put, there we go. Our Bigfoot bushcraft little twig thing there popped off for our, I forget what it's called, fire starter plug. All right, so I'm going to stick some twigs on there, get this going, use some of our logs. So the sun is definitely going down. It's getting colder. I've had my jacket on pretty much the whole time that I've been here. And one of the reasons is it's not very warm out. Yeah, there's a little bit of a breeze blowing, but not much at all. Okay, let's get this fired up, and I will bring you back once it's nice and roaring. Well, let's get in there. So we only have one bundle of wood, but while I was working on that, I just was thinking about this trip. You know, I left January 3rd. We did a lot of videos. I stopped at Buc-ee's. I went down to Alabama, did a video with Camping with Champion. He headed north and I headed more south. I did the Hammock hang. We did between a McDonald's and a Burger King, or McDonald's and Wendy's stealth camp. Oh my goodness, it's just been so much that we've done. We ran all the way down to the Everglades, did an abandoned thing, took an airboat ride, went up and hung at Hopkins Prairie, which was an iconic place where last year I hung my hammock on one branch. Beautiful. Got a chance to do that again this year. What else did we do? Oh, we saw our first alligator. That was cool. And then I ran back down to the Everglades and did some more videos down there. We went to that campground, that Collier Seminole State Park. I don't do campgrounds, but that was pretty cool. We ate that surf and turf with that Wagyu burger, and got stone crab. I was calling it a rock crab, but it's a stone crab. It's one of the delicacies of that area. I believe you can only get it in the Everglades, is where they catch them. You just get the claw, you don't get the whole crab. Yeah. And then we went down and all the way at the end at Chokoloskee Island. And that's where I met Lynn and Woody. And I did, even what's more epic is I hung underneath of a 1906 trading post after walking through it. What a dream come true. I never even expected that. And that's why I like these adventures. They've been random. And that's, when I think about March, that were in March. You know, I was sitting here thinking back about March 21st, 2021 is when I started the channel. It's gonna be 5 years ago on the end of this month. And to think about what all has occurred, March has been kind of a interesting month for me because it was the 1 year anniversary of my YouTube channel. I hit 500 subscribers that morning and I was like, woohoo! And then I went to work and I had a major stroke, lost all movement on the right side. And I picked up the phone in the hospital and I said, hey, I had to use this hand, my left hand. Said, hit 500 subscribers and had a stroke, literally. It took me probably about 6 or 7 takes just to get those words out because I got so choked up. Get choked up now thinking about it because I've come so far from that day in that moment. But I said, hey, literally, after I said, you know, hit 500 subscribers, had a stroke, literally, but come along on a new adventure of recovery. And that's kind of what we did. Started out with the hospital. I think I was in a hospital setting for over a month and a half, and I rang the bell at the Encompass Therapy Center, which was a hospital setting. And that started that March, and then April. And a year later, with a lot of challenges, I was standing in Arizona on my first car camp travel. And that was the 1 year anniversary of the stroke in 2023. You know, looking back, yeah, we've come a long way. You and I, because you've been along on a lot of the journeys. And I do want to say that even if you were along, and you know, when I was doing gold panning way back when I first started the channel, or on the Appalachian Trail, and I was doing trail magic before the stroke, adding camping to the channel, and then having the major stroke within that first year. But whether you've been part of the channel then, or this is the first time you've ever seen Random Adventures 2.0, it's been 5 years coming up at the end of this month. And the other day, who would have thunk it? We hit 45,000 subscribers. That's incredible. You know, and I just started this channel really for my grandkids. At the time, we didn't have 10. I believe we had 4 or 5, but now we have our 11th grandchild on the way in 2026, and it's a total of 11 grandkids under the age of 10. But that's why I started the channel, so they would know me. And I'm glad I did. And I'm glad you've chosen to come along on these random adventures. I don't know what the rest of the year is going to hold, but so far it's been pretty epic. At least I think so. And if this is your first time watching, I appreciate it. We got a lot of stuff going backwards on the channel. There's definitely a lot of videos to catch up on if you are new. And like I said, welcome to the 2.0 family. You know what would be really neat is 5 years and we're at 45,000 subscribers. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to get 5,000 subscribers before the end of the month. To make it 50,000 at 5 years, you never know. We'll see. One thing I do know, this is a beautiful spot and a beautiful night. I'm loving Georgia. Well, I'm going to sit here by the fire, let it go down, and then I will talk to you once I climb in the hammock. Alrighty. See you over there. All right, guys, I'm in the hammock, ready for bed. It's been a great night. It really has. I think this is turning out to be one of my favorite camps of all times. This Georgia air is brisk, though. So I'm going to get my top quilt pulled up here. I got my puffy jacket on, and I'll see you in the morning. Alrighty. You know what we say. Good night. Lights out. See you in the morning. Well, good morning. That night went quick. In fact, it went so quick, I missed the sunrise. I forgot to set up the time lapse. But I did peek at it this morning, and it was pink. In that little valley, the sun came up right over there. I wish I would have gotten that. Oh well. Can't have everything, right? But it was a great night's sleep. Oh, I got to get my hat and get this day started. It's still a little chilly. Chilly on the noggin. All right. Oh, that's a beautiful view up there. Love looking at the treetops, but I got a lot of pine cones hanging right above me. All right, let me get up. I hear a train way out there. Yeah, that must be our late alarm. This is a really great spot. So I've got it marked on my GPS so that next year I might come back here again. Yeah, it's hard finding really good spots that are memorable, and this was one of them. Yeah. And if we got to rebuild the fire ring, we can always do that, right? So I'm going to pack this up, get it all back in the backpack. Kind of take my time this morning. I'm not in a hurry. And just kind of take in Georgia just a little bit more before I head north. There are a lot of trains running this morning. Let's get a cup of coffee made. I think I'm going to sit right down here on the back of the car and drink my coffee. And look at this view. Man, it's beautiful. You know, even with those trains running through the valley, it's very, very peaceful out here. Yeah, it is. All right. Good morning. Salute. Cheers. I think I got that one right. It took almost 5 years. First time I ever drank out of this cup. It was my very first video, Coffee in the Woods, and I burnt my tongue. I didn't do it this time. But I did say, that's a good cup of coffee. Yeah, it is. Well, our time here has come to an end. Well, for you, but not for me, because I'm going to hang out here a little bit longer. Yeah, I've got everything packed up. I just did a walkthrough a little while ago and just double checked. I've got that bag put in the car. I'm going to look one more time to make sure there isn't anything that I could take with me that was here before I got here, because we like to leave it better than it was. And I did check on the pine needles and everything. Our camo kind of blew off a little bit, hiding the car, but that's all right. We're leaving anyhow, right? You do know I was just kidding with all the stuff on the hood of the car, right? Right? All right. Well, you have a great week and even a better weekend, and I'll see you every Thursday for a random adventure. Now, I don't know what we're doing next. We're just going to head north. So you might got to tune in to see what we ended up doing, because I have no clue. It's always random, and that's the way I like it. All right. Well, Tony 2.0. Got to get out of here, but I'm going to hang around for a little while longer, and I'll see you on the next random adventure. All right. See ya. Salute. I got to finish this coffee first. Yum.